Well, good morning, Lakeview. Happy Thanksgiving. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I want to say how much we appreciate your partnership, your friendship, your prayers, and your support. And I want to say thank you, Pastor Jeff, for letting me have the pulpit this morning. You know, most pastors have a 3-point message. I think, in other words, they want you to remember 3 things at least in their message. I don't know, it seems like 4 things is really difficult to remember. So this morning I just have a 1-point message, and it's found in 1 Thessalonians 5:16, and it reads like this: Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And I think if we live like this, it's impossible to have a negative attitude. It's impossible to be a complainer and not to see the good in every situation. When I wake up in the morning, I have a habit to start the day in thanksgiving. I start the day by giving thanks for coffee. And I love coffee, and the very best cup of coffee is always the first one. And then I start giving thanks for my wife and my children, my grandchildren, and all the things God is doing in my life and all my situations, both good and bad. And then usually Susan will wake up and I will say, "Hon, can you grab me another cup of coffee?" And she does. She'll go over to the counter and pour me a cup of coffee and bring it to me. And I will continue my prayers, and then she will join me. And I want to encourage you this morning, if you don't already start the morning with thanksgiving and prayer, that it's a wonderful way to start your day. And it sets the mood for the whole day. And then in the evening, I like, before I go to sleep, I start doing the same thing. I start thanking the Lord and just going over the things that God is doing in my life. And that's the way I drift off. And it's a beautiful way to end the day. And one of our biggest projects is in Zambia. We work in a city called Ndola. And Ndola is surrounded by 7 townships, or they call them compounds, shanty slums. And Zambia is one of the poorest nations in the world. And if I were to bring you to one of these places, you'll see just dilapidated homes, one after as far as the eye can see. And if you were to go to Zambia, you will never hear a man say, "Honey, would you go and get me a cup of coffee?" No man will ever say that to his wife. Because what it would mean is that she would have to go out and get the firewood and find firewood. And then she would have to get a bucket and go down to the nearest creek and get water and carry back a 5-gallon pail of water. And then she would have to kindle the fire, and then she'd have to boil the water. But wait, there's no coffee. They bought food for the children instead. So generally speaking, people in Zambia don't drink coffee. So I know this so well. So when I do have my morning coffee, I am truly grateful because I can afford coffee. And I live in a beautiful home. And I have electricity. And I have a coffee pot. And my children and my family is healthy and well. And I'm grateful because I know all of this is from the Lord. I was born in this country. I was given these opportunities. And everything I have is from the Lord. So how can I not be grateful?